Peace, y'all. Peace to the family. Peace, love, and light. Peace to you and yours. All right. What's good with you on this 4-4? What's good with the family? I just wanted to tap in real quick. All right. What's going on out there? Peace, love, and light. What's good? Look, I've been getting a lot of DMs all day. People have been asking me, what is this 44 about and what have you? I guess, I've been throwing up the posts and everything. So a lot of people have been seeing a lot of things. And even though I had a lecture scheduled for today, I had to postpone it and push it back. But I did want to make myself somewhat available, you know what I'm saying, to people on this particular day, a day like today. I want to make sure that people are not getting lost in the sauce and missing an opportunity, of a lifetime to tap into a frequency that I'm not saying that the frequency is not going to be here after today, but there's a resonance right now because it kind of like falls on this particular day. And this day is special. It's a key day. And I'll explain why, in a second. I give the people a second to get in the building or what have you. But yeah, it's a lot going on and it's a lot on my mind. So rather than just, go crazy with my thoughts, I was like, let me come online and tap in with the people, Peace, God. And make myself available just in case the family had any questions out there. You know what I mean? It's been a very active day. Been up since like 5-something in the morning. So, and I know I'm gonna have a busy night. So I was like, I gotta get one in today at least. I can't let the day go and I don't get one in. You feel me? So I'm like, let's tap all the way in. Let's get it shaking, especially for my brothers out there. I don't know how many women tap into the Final Four thing. For the brothers out there, they got this game coming on in a little while. I don't know if you shake the dice and do your thing. I don't know if you lay them bets down, but, this is going to be a major showdown right here. It's a major 44 showdown, okay? Because the Kansas is a 44 resonator, heavy, right? Kansas is the heartland of America, okay? That's just what pumps through hearts. Don't blood pump through the heart, right? Don't blood pump through the heart, right? Well, blood is a 44 resonance. The word, what should I say? Yeah. How can I best explain this? In Hebrew, okay, which is a very important language in our lexicon, the word for blood equals the number 44. Now, Hebrew is an alphanumeric system, right? It's an alphanumeric system. What does that mean? It means that the letters equal numbers. Therefore, when words are formulated by conjoining letters, those words have a resonant frequency. They have a number that's assigned to them. Now, the system of gematria, which is the geometry of letters, right? And please let me know if I'm speaking fucking Mandarin and Chinese to you, okay? Gematria is a system that calculates words based on numbers, but there's different number ciphers. Some systems might use the Hebraic number system. Some systems might use the alphabet number system. Other systems use different ciphers and metrics, okay, to deduce a numerical calculation of a word. That's the best way I can explain it. So, case in point, like I said, I'm looking at a team like the Kansas team, right, the Jayhawks, and I know that Kansas is the heartland of America. I also know that blood pumps through hearts. And me knowing that the number 44 equals the word blood, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at Kansas. But then you get a team like UNC, right? You get a team like the Tar Heels, and they have been 44 resonators for a long time, right? And this was one of their recent victories. I just posted this, and I talk about this particular this team at length because this was a classical 44 moment in history. You know, when I talk about the breakdown of it, I always go back to the 2017 North Carolina team. All right. And then, you can go further and further back. UNC has always been a 44 resonator. You feel me? North Carolina, period, is a city or state, for that matter, that resonates with the number 44, just like Kansas does, right? Hence the fact that even the Kansas City Chiefs, if anybody was following when we did the breakdown for the Super Bowl in 2020, this was February 2020, right before the pandemic. I was utilizing that breakdown and that observation to tell people that in February, I was like, look, C19 is going to hit. Okay? Because they set all of the energy up in the Super Bowl that was played in Miami at that time. It was the 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Both of those teams had on red, I believe, and gold. I think those was the team colors, red, white, and gold, for better or for worse. But I was hashtagging there will be blood. There will be blood. There will be blood, right? Hinting on the fact that Kansas Chiefs, were in that particular game, and me knowing what Kansas represents tied in, especially on a day like today, Kansas is tied into the 44th president, right? Does anybody know how Kansas is tied into the 44th president? This guy right here. Let me pull this up. Because the YouTube Gematria dudes, they're not going to give you this level of, scrutiny when looking at the facts and deducing or coming up with your own determination to say, well, how am I going to wage my bets to see who's going to win? And if you ain't making no money off the game, then this shit is a waste of your time. I'm literally kind of speaking to people who's, going to get that bread. And I'm not going to tell you what my picks are. I'm going to help you determine for yourself, how you should look at this thing and come up with your own. Figure your own picks out, for that matter. Because niggas don't be sliding you no bread after they win these games. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't in cahoots together. But I don't like having information and I'm sitting on it. I'm going to give you some Blues Clues. I'm not going to tell you who's going to win. But I give you some Blues Clues. You feel me? It's only right. I'm not obligated, but it's only right. So this guy right here, right? This 44 resonator. And I was promising myself today, I really wanted to go to MLK's crib. Right, shout out to Martin Luther King. I feel very differently about Martin Luther King than other people do. So you will never really hear me bad-mouthing him in public. You know what I'm saying? I don't get down like that. I think that's the to me that's the height of sucker shit. Especially if you melanated. You know what I'm saying? You need to go sit down somewhere and just dig deep into your history. And if you feel that this man 50 plus years ago did something 50 plus years ago that's debilitating you today, you know what I'm saying? You need to jump the fuck off of a building or something, and just recalibrate yourself after that. Because, again, that's some weak shit. In society, in this community, it sets people up to participate in weak-ass activities. It's almost like misery-loving company, right? Or weakness having to be consolidated by weakness. So they always looking for somebody to blame and hang a body on. So they're like, oh my God, if a man told you you was in a burning house 50 goddamn years ago, what the hell is you still doing in that house? You was born into a burning house? I mean, just ask yourself these things, because, like, is it incumbent upon him from the grave to free you from your situation, to free you up from your situation? You still got hang-ups with Martin Luther King for what the hell he did in the 60s? For real? So I'm calibrated different, where when I look at people's stories and their histories, I'm like, what did this person do that was positive that I can research and study? What did this person do that was exemplary that I can exalt? You know what I'm saying? I don't wake up looking to see how I could tear somebody down for something that they did 50, 60 years ago. That, you know, at that time had nothing to do with me. I'm not taking it personal. You feel me? So, I would normally go to his crib around these times, around April 4th when I'm in Atlanta. I would stop by his crib, and then I would go to his cemetery, you know what I'm saying? And I'll sit there and I'll meditate, you know, and I would be like, yo, right up the block from where he's buried is one of the biggest crack strips in Atlanta, and it's still popping. They still got zombies out there right now, to this day, right? Negroes is literally up the block from where Martin Luther King is buried, and they selling crack in the open air drug market to this day, right? Right in Edgewood, right off Auburn. So I would go there and I would sit down and, you know what I'm saying? I would, you know, just meditate, you know, on the state of affairs of things. And I said this on Richard's show last night, and I'll repeat it, you know, just in case anybody didn't hear it and they need to hear it. Okay? Especially if you reside in the state of Atlanta and you scratching your head and you like, oh my God, I don't like the way this is or that is. Like, niggas got hell of opinions, right? But if you in the state of Atlanta, if you in the city of Atlanta, and you are enjoying whatever the benefits and the fruits that this particular, this reality, this society, this community, this city has to offer you, then you can't necessarily in your heart, right, have such a vehement hatred for the civil rights movement if you are enjoying, right, the fruits of that particular labor or that sacrifice. Okay, because King died on April 4th, 1968. You dig what I'm saying? And there has been an extreme reformation in the melanated community as a result of him being removed and transpiring at that time. Because immediately after they get rid of King, right, they had the riots in the cities, okay? And the quote-unquote government, you know, kind of somewhat, in so many words, declared war on our people because they saw what the possibilities can possibly look like if our people decided to revolt. Because this is the only time that they really seen people kicking up dust, right? Our people didn't kick up dust when Malcolm X got killed and assassinated. And no disrespect to MLK. I mean, no disrespect to Malcolm X. I just want you to see the hypocrisy in our people and who they say, oh, I side with this person because he's more militant. But you didn't have a militant response to them killing Malcolm X, right? The people had a militant, violent response to them killing the supposed alleged nonviolent leadership amongst you. Okay? Now, out of the vacuum that was created by the assassination of a Malcolm X, we could say, okay, we got political, somewhat paramilitary organizations, case in point, like the Black Panthers, right? That's a branch that we could say came out of that as a result to the vacuum that was left. And then as a result of them taking down the Black Panthers, the vacuum that came out of that was the Bloods and the Crips. Okay? Martin Luther King or MLK was something totally different. It was something totally different. It had global implications, right? And they had declared war on melanated people from that point on, right? They enacted a chemical warfare program on melanated people as a response to what it is that they saw, the aggression that they saw, and the riots that took place in 100+ cities in the summer of 68. Okay? So I say all that to say, the world that you live in is a world that was created post MLK, and not necessarily because of the compromises or the decisions or the short-sightedness of what he agreed to at the time. Right? I don't necessarily think that. Okay? Because that yielded some things, right? Social programs, right? If you ever received a welfare check, if you ever received WIC, if you ever went to Head Start programs, okay? All of these things are afforded to the Civil Rights Act in the Great Society, okay? That was the legislation that came out after King got killed by way of LBJ and the Democrats, the Dixie Democrats. You feel me? All of those things came as a result of his sacrifice. Okay? Hate it or love it, right? If it's something that you can't work with, give it back and figure out what the hell you're going to do other than that, right? Work something else. But stop complaining and pointing fingers at this man who sacrificed and was sacrificed, right? For nothing else but his love for the people. You don't agree with how he went about that love. What I'm saying is match the love, right? Compete. Let's have a love competition. Let's have a love competition for the people. If that's the case, for whatever your organization is or whatever flag that you wave, if you like, I don't like the way that this organization did it, I don't like the way that this leadership did it, then you can do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing stopping you. What you waiting on, matter of fact? Right? The people need what you got to offer. Where you at? You feel me? Now, I'm not attempting to convert nobody into the way that my field of perception, the way that I view and see the world. What I am doing is sharing what's on my heart to say, this is why I don't do these things. And this is a waste of time and it's a waste of energy. So me having to review and audit my activities, the things that was taught to me in this community, right? When I went through my self-auditing, I'm like, I don't need this anymore. Let me do away with that. This is holding me back. This is waste. This is distraction. This is too heavy. You feel me? You want to lighten your load. You want to lighten your load. You want to put something down so you can pick something up, right? How are you ever going to receive anything if you're boggled down with these preconceived notions and these misconceptions about who the enemy is versus who isn't, what this person did versus what this person didn't do, right? You have an opportunity in this particular lifetime to make things right. You're not going to be, you don't believe that you're hampered by any decision that somebody made 50, 60, 40 years ago. You feel me? You have been alive long enough that you can gain access to the tools that's necessary, right? To get the goddamn handcuffs off of you and do whatever it is that you feel is necessary and that's in alignment with you coming up, whatever that looks like to you. You feel me? other than picking up some motherfucking crack cocaine. Okay, because you're gonna want to blame King for that too, huh? Was he responsible for that fucking burning house? Because that's where the fire's coming from, not from civil rights legislation. Okay, not from civil rights legislation. That shit did nothing for me and it did nothing against me. Right? I've never benefited from it, to my knowledge. And it hasn't necessarily been a barrier or a detractor in my personal life. All of my shortcomings, the shit that I got caught up in is things that I volunteered for. Right? The things that I volunteered for. Okay? Ain't nobody line me up. I'm not a victim of nobody's agendas. Okay? Let's stop the blame game. If we remove ourselves from blaming other people for things that they seemingly did to us before we was even born, right? The universe is going to start responding to you a little bit different. Like, oh, okay, well, you're ready to receive this. You guys are ready for some solutions. You know, I don't like again, like hearing the same program and the same tropes that and it's the tropes, it's the programming more than anything else that you're gonna come across in this community that's gonna hamper you. Right? These are the things that debilitate people's character. Because you know what happens? They're going to give you an excuse to have an out where you like, I don't even want to try. Because the adversary already figured out every move and they got this base covered and that base covered. How you know? How you know? You took somebody's word for that and you ain't go out there and find out for yourself? You feel me? And again, you know, and then people will be quick to tell you, oh, you know, the age of leadership is dead because they assassinated all of our leaders. And, you know, why would I want to grow up and do that if there's already a bullet that's reserved for people in leadership? I'm like, nigga, you know how many drug dealers that I seen get killed? Since I was like this big. You feel me? That shit doesn't seem to be a deterrent to niggas picking up whole bags of crack cocaine and go out there and selling it for some Jordan's fucking money. Right? So there's not a bullet that's reserved for a nigga to want to hustle, but there's a bullet reserved for you if you want to be a leader. Right? Again, that's some weak shit. And society will set you up for failure like that by allowing you, right, to participate in some weak shit. You know? So this day, again, this day is kind of monumental. And the energy on the day is monumental. You feel me? So, you know, I just wanted to tap in and just share that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into politics necessarily, but I do make observations. I make observations and I can look at certain things and I have an understanding enough where I'm not necessarily compromising myself by saying that I understand what I'm looking at. My heart is not necessarily into the politics per se, but I understand the politics are necessary because of the paradigm that we live in. You feel me? Saying all that to say, you know, when Obama came along, right, I was already out of politics. I was not emotionally invested in politics. I wasn't emotionally invested in this particular experience, period. I was attempting to get as further and farther away from the quote unquote system and the process that goes along with the system, I was rebelling at that time. I was a cultural rebellist at the time of his particular presidency. But I did get to interview him in 2007 because I was still in journalism at the time, right? I was still in media at the time, and I got invited to the Brooklyn Marriott in February of 2007. And Mr. Obama was testing the waters for a presidency run. He had not yet announced his plans to run. He was testing the waters. And he brought him to the Brooklyn Marriott. And again, I had known better, about politics. I was thoroughly being taught and versed in civics by Moores. And, I had all my experiences already by that time in court. So I knew it was a farce. I knew about the de facto aspect. I knew a lot of stuff to not be emotionally invested in politics. And even with everything that I knew, you feel me? Even with everything that I was exposed to, I still was magnetized to his charismatic message, for lack of a better term. I'm like, this nigga knows how to string some words together. You feel me? And he was pulling on people's heartstrings. I'm like, he knows how to work a room. So I was just digging the character of this particular politician, even though I knew he was finessing. I'm like, this nigga's one hell of a finesser, right? And I'm like, shit, if anybody should win it, he should. Because what? What, they not finessing? They all finessing. They all finessing in some shape, form, or fashion. You feel me? But I'm like, yo, this dude is, I'm like, his finessing is on another level. He's different. And I didn't see him attempting to abandon his quote unquote blackness, for lack of a better term. He was wearing it on his sleeve. And he was up there talking to whites, Asians, blacks, gay, straights, you name it. They was in the building. And he was working the room. Right? So I'm there for the entertainment aspect of it, because at this point, that's all I'm viewing politics as. But then he made my hair stand up. I got goosebumps. You feel me? And I was like, oh, there's something different about this guy. I can't quite put my finger on it. And then it didn't hurt that phenotypically, he looked like us. More like my brother than I thought me. I used to see him from the side profile and shit. He had big ears like mine. My ears is, I was like, this dude is different. He got the nerve to have a name like Obama Hussein, Barack Obama Hussein. No, Barack Hussein Obama. No, hold on. Barack Hussein Obama. That's his name, right? Yeah, so that was just like badass to me, that I was like, this nigga got the nerve to have a name like Barack Hussein Obama? And he's running with swag? Like, this nigga's different. Like, this dude is different. You feel me? So, I observed his presidency, you know what I'm saying? I did what's called, they had a word for what I was doing. I was selling merch in Harlem for him, for his brand. And I was making a killing on 125th because I finally figured out how to get money from the white tourists that was coming from Europe, and nobody was getting money from them, right? If anybody's in their right mind, right, and they want to give people their flowers and tell the story how it is, they'll let you know that I popped off the entire industry of selling Obama merch, right? And we did it right in Harlem. Started pressing up the Shep and Harley hope
images, the visage that he made, the stickers that he made for Obama. I started throwing them on colorful T-shirts, and then the electioneering or something like that. So I threw the colorful T-shirts on the table, and then the European tourists on Sunday mornings, they would come to Harlem to see an artist named Franco the Great. Franco the Great is an elder in Harlem who used to paint all of the gates, the fences, with all of the, Mr. T and Good Times and shit like that. Yeah, shout out to Franco the Great. So I started, cutting into his clientele because I figured out that if I put the Obama image on colorful T-shirts, the Europeans would stop. And they did. And they started buying. And they started buying in mass. And like anything else in Harlem, once you get the spot popping and clicking, then 10, 15 niggas want to start doing what you doing. Right? So here they come, trying to do what I do down the block. So then I started switching up on them, you know what I'm saying, and going up in quality. And we went so far up in quality in Harlem that we were selling what would be considered like high-end merch at that point. By the time the primaries was in full swing, we were selling shirts of Obama in Harlem that was $100+ because they was rhinestone. And our shit was so marquee that we were the only street brand that was invited to the White House for the inauguration. And we were selling Obama merch inside of that particular enclave, right? Right next to like head fashion houses and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? We was making a killing, right? So I was guilty for like electioneering, you know what I'm saying? I was making money off of people who were into his celebrity, but I wasn't into the politics. Yeah, that merch definitely made its way around the world. But yeah, we made it to the Capitol. It was the inauguration, but we made it to the Capitol because that's where they was doing the vending at. You feel me? From 125th Street all the way to the Capitol by way of Obama. Thank you, bro. So I observed his presidency, with the eagle's eye, and I seen a lot of things. I seen a lot of missed opportunities, in our community. People love to point their fingers and say what he didn't do. You know what I mean? But I remember that he was making himself available. And he put a lot of dog whistles out, and nobody kind of like bit the bait, especially the Moors. The Moors did not respond in due form to an Obama presidency. And niggas was inundating the Bush administration and the presidency with paperwork, right? Whether it was, when I say the administration, I'm talking about all of the different, departments and whoever was in charge at that time underneath that presidency, they was getting inundated by paperwork. But when they brought Obama in there and then they brought Eric Holder in there, niggas, right? They did not respond the same way. They were not inundating them with paperwork. They was not running down on them. They had a level of respect and almost borderline reverence for this presidency, and they ain't put him to task. Like, they didn't put him under the fire. And he slipped. He slipped through. This nigga went to Egypt and addressed the Moors. You know what I mean? He went to fucking... And then Michelle went to the Alhambra and addressed the Moors. They did mad shit to address the Moors. And niggas did not show up. They didn't respond in due form. So niggas need to stop crying and complaining about what Obama did not do, right? Because he was not properly, first, he wasn't properly vetted, and two, he wasn't properly, people didn't do the dance with him that was necessary for them to get something out of him. I haven't seen a plan to this day. Where was the plan that you was putting in front of him? because that plan could have got shifted to Trump, and then this plan could have got shifted to Biden. So where's the plan? Because niggas did not start hearing about plans until Ice Cube came out with one. So where's this plan? Where's the proclamations? Where's the anything that you wanted him to sign off on? What did it look like? Where is it at? Because I never seen it. And I was in all of them circles. Right? It never popped out. So where was the plan at? You just wanted him to do the homie lookout? That's not the way this shit works. So, again, while we belly ache and we complain about politics and what these other people get, those people understand politics, obviously, right? They make political donations to these people, and they have agendas that they make sure as lobbyists gets in front of politicians, and the politicians, right, after they're reminded with receipts what this said community did for them, then they're compelled to say, oh, okay, you the niggas that I work for. Let me get to work then. Right? So I don't, where's all of these things again that we expect stuff to happen just magically, because our melanin is popping, everybody's supposed to respect that. In due form, supposed to break themselves, right? Because, we want to go around the world and just be like, the vibes. And that's just not how politics work. It's just not. It's just not. Yeah. Black colonizers don't know what they want because they hate everything. Yeah. What do you niggas want? Right? Help me out so I can help you. Like, what would make Black America happy? What will make these niggas on Black Twitter, right, not so bitter? Somebody help me out so I can help y'all. Salute, Brother Supernova, Wellness Warrior, right? What does the community want? What does Black America want, right? So we can help them. Reparations. Okay, there's a contingency of quote unquote Black America that wants reparations. That's still not something that all of Black America has agreed upon, especially what form of reparations they want, how much, none of that. Right? Sovereignty, all right, that's an ambiguous term. So what specifically does sovereignty look like for quote unquote Black America? Because that sounds like an oxymoron already. To be left the hell alone. Well, I mean, you can get low and be left alone right now. There's like forests that are up for sale. There's all of this farmland out here in America. Right? There's so many places that you can get to and get low. Rather than expect somebody to leave you alone, you can leave them alone and get away from them. You can get out like Jordan Peele said. You feel me? And you can get out and still be in America and get out. Not to be run by the Black nobility. I don't even know who the Black nobility is. We want the financial rates equal in tax, and that takes work from us. Okay. The financial rates, you mean like the wealth gap and everything? All right, yeah, that's going to take work. Nobody's going to do that for you necessarily. But let me tell you like how the universe responds to things of that nature. The universe has made a lot of things available to melanated people where we can shorten the wealth gap, but we're not taking advantage of those things. The hemp industry, cryptocurrency, DeFi finances, collective pooling, community investment, real estate, and case in point. Oh, what does real estate look like? Every opportunity that people are telling me that Europeans gentrified a particular community, that's a real estate opportunity, right? That's a real estate opportunity. So you're telling me that melanated people are sitting around and they need help, but they're sitting in the midst of the help that they need? Because the hoods or these neighborhoods are the sources of community wealth. The real estate is worth something, right? You can set up retail in these communities, right? And I keep telling you, if a crackhead can find the finances necessary, look, let's say I was shaking on a block and I was playing the block, right? And I left the block and the block was clicking. And in 3 days, if I could go and buy me a BMW, where the hell is these crackheads getting this money from? How can a crackhead find the money in the community, but the community leadership can't find the money in the community? You have to ask yourself that. And I'll repeat it for the people in the back that probably didn't hear me. Where are the crackheads finding the money at to stay high for 30 years straight? Because I know some. Where are the crackheads finding the money at to stay high, right? For 30 years straight. But the community, and they're getting their money out of the community. And the niggas that's selling them drugs can say, you know what, in 3 or 4 days, I done made $80K off these niggas. I'm going to go buy me a Beamer. I'm going to do it in cash, and the cash is going to be in paper bags. But the community leadership, what is them niggas? Oh, these are the people that's like, I want to feed the babies. I want to feed the homeless, right? Okay, you can go and get government funding and subsidies and do that shit. You can do it through a nonprofit, or you can figure out how to get in the community and get you some money, right? How the community leadership can't find the money in the community, but the crackheads can. Right? Then you might need some crackheads on your committee because they know how to find the funds. They know how to source the money, right? They know where the guala's at. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Somebody said with the reset, we will own nothing by 2030. I don't think it's going to take to 2030. I think more like 2025. You feel me? I think like 2025. Because there is a unprecedented gulf that is being created right now between different economic classes, and the people are being fleeced for their coins with this inflationary gas and food, right? And basic means of how you live your life. The clothes cost more, the food costs more, the rent costs more, the gas costs more, right? If you're going out to the bar, shit, the drinks cost more. You feel me? So we are catching up, right? In so many words, we're like, oh, we want to catch up. We lost so much time. So what does that mean? People is partying more, right? They're enjoying themselves because you're not going to deny yourself the creature comforts of what you had to unwillingly relieve yourself for these last 2 years. So people trying to catch up. You know what I mean? They like, don't just give me 1 cup. Give me 2 cups of that. Niggas is doubling up. Niggas want to smoke 7 grams of weed, shit like that. Rapper weed. The rapper weed is up. Everything's up. You feel me? By the time they sober up, right? They not gonna have none of their coins left. And then what if the money just go digital all of a sudden? And your payment is allocated on a drip. They got your shit on a drip. The faucet, you can't even turn the faucet on. You don't got access to the faucet. You're on a drip. Right? You're on a drip.
And it's digital. It's like direct deposit for everything. And then everything is on a blockchain, so you can't even get no extra change because they're like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? You feel me? You can't even get no extra scratch. Everything is ledgered and has to be accounted for now. You feel me? It's gonna, it could potentially look ugly. It could potentially look ugly. So the universe has afforded us these opportunities in this short amount of time to get some things together, right? To get focused, have these key conversations. And I feel that our people were a little bit more adamant last year about financial literacy, right? Of course, shout out to EYL and different programs and platforms who have continued to keep the torch lit and have these conversations. But people I'm seeing them fall back into the ways of old because they're coming out of, the mandated suppressions. You know what I'm saying? The lockdowns and the you can't go here and you can't do that. You feel me? So, it's things that are going down, and I don't want to be dismissive of when people be like, yo, the distractions. I'm like, all right, that's cool. We can say that, but what are we being distracted from? Right? Let's bounce back. Let's come back to our senses and say, all right, whoa, that's over. That's a week and some change. All right, now what are we getting to? Before the next quote unquote distraction comes, what are the conversations that we need to be having every single day that we need to be checking up on? Feel me? Yeah, you said it best. You know what I'm saying? You said it best. People are being distracted from themselves. You know what I'm saying? People are being distracted from themselves. It's nothing external that's happening that even matters. I could care less what other C-19 breakthroughs they come through and whistleblowers and we found this out about Pfizer and this. Nah, they don't even matter no more. It don't even matter no more. Right? Are you taking the necessary time out for you? That's all that matters. Are you doing the work? You know what I'm saying? Are you healing yourself? Are you identifying what parts of self need healing so you can source whatever's needed for you to heal? Are you taking the time to do that? Because that's the only thing that's worthwhile saying, oh, we being distracted. You're being distracted from yourself. You're being distracted from your children. Right? Those are the things that matter most. You feel me? And look, I don't even have children that have come from my loins. I have nieces and nephews. I have godchildren. I've been a stepfather before. And I'm in the community, you know what I'm saying? So I'm around a lot of children. And even when I'm around my nephew right now, right? This is his little basket and stuff. I know that I've seen it on camera, right? This is a little, this is a little basket. You feel me? And the only thing that my nephew wants from me is my attention. And I'm in my phone and shit. And he'll stand there with the ball and he'll wait. Right? But he needs my attention. He needs my interaction. He needs me. I'm on the phone. I got to put the goddamn phone down. You know what I mean? And get back to parenting, co-parenting, uncling, the things that matter most. Being there for these children. These children need your attention. They need your company. And we could be like, oh, the babies be on the tablet all day.
I'm sure they didn't start that way. Them children probably started seeing you on the phone all day. And then they found a companion in the tablet, and now they're reserved in that relationship. But you need to rescue them from that. You know what I mean? Put that goddamn phone down. You can't bring it to the dinner table. You know, take at least make sure that there's an hour out of your day where you're conversing with them, doing commentary, screening the things that they came across. Look, y'all, I be needing to decompress from the shit that I see on my timeline. And I don't even click on the stuff that I be seeing. I don't even click on it. Just me seeing it. Because the videos will start playing. They'll start auto playing. And you might give it like 8 seconds before you be like, oh, hell no. What is this? You feel me? I be needing to decompress from the stuff that I come across on social media. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what a child's mind is going through? Especially the children that be on your phone because you letting them play on your phone and they be like, I'm going on this app or that app. They be on your app watching crazy shit that's on your timeline that the algorithm has assigned to you because maybe in your pastime you be strolling looking at crazy shit. I've looked at crazy shit too, y'all. So I'm only talking to myself when I'm talking to y'all. You feel me? A kid is a baby goat. Semantics, yeah. All right. That's cool. You calling a grown ass person a goat, but we can't call the babies baby goats. And I was caught up in all of that too. Oh, they're named children and they're not named kids. Good luck. Okay? Good luck. You feel me? But for the duration of this conversation, I'm going to honor that request because I remember when I used to be in that space and I would want to correct everybody's language. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to honor that. I will not call them kids for the remainder of this conversation. I'm going to call them children, right? Or little badasses. Or them little niggers. No, I'm sorry. I mean, you know, sometimes they be acting like baby goat. They don't, but we want them to grow up to be goats, right? You want them to be the greatest of all time. See, there goes this English language and the semantics to go along with it. You feel me? Okay, somebody said a key point. What is the one important thing that we have been not making useful of is our collective contribution of benefits and value and unity of healthy. I kind of understand what you're saying. Yeah, they be climbing on everything and eating everything in sight. Them niggas be acting like baby goats. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to call them children. You know? You feel me? So, you know, the three things that I have listed about all three of these individuals, they're all 44 resonators. Okay, and Martin Luther King was assassinated on April 4th, 1968. That's the day that the dream died, right? So that all three have the synonymous title of king that they resonate with. They all have the synonymous motif of the dream that they resonate with. And they all have the number 44 in common, right? So Martin Luther King, I have a dream. right? Assassinated on April 4th. Biggie Smalls, it was all a dream, okay? Kicking in the door, waving the 4-4. He's the king of New York. Barack Hussein Obama, right? He is a Leo. He is the king of kings because he was the leader of the free world. His middle name means king, right? He wrote a book called Dreams of My Father, which we know him for. And he was the 44th president. So these three are encapsulated an aspect of a dream that we all live in. If you're a part of hip hop culture, as I am, we are encapsulated in the dream of Biggie Smalls, right? This was his design. This ratchetness, this materialism, crass materialism, okay? We have not broken out of the dream that was forged in the mind of Christopher Wallace, who only had a 3-year run in hip hop, but it was enough to consecrate a reality that we all participate in to this day. Okay? And it's reinforced by his two compatriots that are considered not until last year, but they were once the richest people in hip hop and the people who navigated, you know what I'm saying, with the styles and the norms and the mores of the culture would be, that being Puff Daddy and Jay-Z. Okay? So that's why I call them the three kings in the 44 pantheon. And by me utilizing them for observation purposes and to tell narratives does not mean that I agree with their politics. You know what I'm saying? This is an unbiased observation of three individuals that when I utilized my brain, I was able to figure this equation out. You know what I'm saying? That they are all part and parcel of the same dream for many people have turned into a nightmare. But we all here for the shits. So I'm like, if you are uncomfortable with his dream, and you uncomfortable with his dream, and you uncomfortable with his dream, what the fuck does your dream look like? Because I want to know, right? And we want to participate in helping you bring that dream to a reality. Because we need to replace an old dream with a new one. But what we cannot afford to do is to not dream at all. We cannot afford to do that because from dreams come visions, and from visions, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's going to become our future reality because you have to be able to see it in order to achieve it. So what does the dream look like, let alone the vision? Okay? But, you know, we're going to fall back because that might have been too heavy. Let's just take it to the games, okay? This is going down tonight. Both between 244 resonators, Kansas, North Carolina. God damn it, who you got? I know who I got. You feel me? May the best 44 team win at the end of the day. All right? So I ain't got a lot of time. I got like a minute remaining. Time is ticking down. And again, y'all want to say thank you for tapping in. I had some other things on my mind that I wanted to talk about, but I ain't get around to it. You know, hopefully, you know, I might do something later. I might do something at another time. But nonetheless, I want to thank you for tuning in and tapping in on this 44 day. You know, make the best of it, what remains of it. You know what I'm saying? If you're into sports, you know, check the game out. You know? It's going to be a 44 bonanza. I promise you that. Okay? And with that, I want to say peace, love, and light, y'all. Peace.